Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I just wanted to say thank you to those of you who have subscribed so far. On this channel I share my crochet and my paintings as well, but mostly my crochet. So if that sounds good to you and you haven't subscribed yet, then go ahead and hit the button. Today I wanted to share some of the crochet that I've been working on this year. Kind of feels like the year's been just flying by, so I thought now would be a good time to check in on my completed projects and look at some of the stuff that I've still got in progress. And before we get into the video, don't forget to hit the like button, and now let's get started. Okay, first up, and this is in no particular order, I'm just grabbing stuff off the couch over there. First we've got this mohair puff sleeve cardigan that's inside out. Okay, technically this is more of a 2025 project, but I finished off the final sleeve this year, so I'm including it in the video. It's made with a single strand of mohair and it has these puff sleeves. I changed my mind so many different times when I was making these sleeves, so they're not exactly how I wanted them to be. We ended up with just this short sleeve puff. Another issue that I had was deciding how puffy I wanted it to be, but I think I did get just the right level of puffiness. It was surprisingly really quick to work up. I made it with one single strand of mohair, but it only took me about 20-25 hours to finish it off, and I'm a very slow crocheter, so that was really quick for me. It has these ties at the front, so if I were making this again, I think I'd want the off the shoulder to be a bit less off the shoulder. I want it to have a bit of a snugger fit, but overall I'm pretty happy with this, and I can't wait for the weather to cool down a little bit so I can finally wear it without sweating like crazy. Okay, next we have this bag. I actually have a tutorial for this bag on my channel right now, and at the time of filming it's almost at 1,000 views, so go take a look. I'm hoping that it's going to be my first video to hit 1,000. Anyway, it's just a mesh tote bag. It's not fully mesh, but it has this mesh detailing here. Made out of cotton. I made it because I really needed to use up a whole bunch of scrap yarn, and I still have so much that I need to use up. Not really a big yarn hoarder, but I don't like having tons of material around. It just gives me a headache, so I've been trying to use up as much of it as I can. And this actually did eat through quite a lot, because I ended up making a couple versions of this before the final one that I made the tutorial for. And what have I got in here? I've got some scrap yarn and some more scrap yarn, and it's just a bunch of scrap yarn. So if you also need to stash bust, then give this tutorial a try and see how it goes. And next I made these. Oh, it's all tangled. Oh. Okay, so here's some mesh bandanas that I made earlier in the year. It's a really nice mercerized cotton yarn that I used. And at the bottom there's this, I don't know, I'm going to call it a rose medallion, and it's supposed to sit just at the back of your head. I thought it'd be a really cute detail to add to what is basically a very standard mesh bandana. And additionally there's this detail here where I have the two ties. So the idea is that you have one to tie around the back of your head and the other one kind of hangs down to frame your face. I'm working on a tutorial for this, but I don't know if I'm going to keep this double tie situation. I may just change it to just being the one. Anyway, I have a couple of these bandanas available on my Etsy if you want to go check that out. And some more details from the bandana. There's this kind of frilly border around it. I wanted to add a few details here and there to just make it a little bit more interesting than a regular triangular headband. And next up we've got this bag. This was another stash buster. It comes with this crochet button that you can use as a clasp. I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out actually. I like this tassel that I've got going on here. This is also available on my Etsy. And I wasn't sure initially when I was making it about the color choices, but I like the contrast. It's kind of bright without being too garish, I think. So it's mostly made with granny stitch and then double crochet along the top and at the base as well. It's a pretty simple design, but I did get to use up quite a lot of yarn with it, so I'm pleased with how it turned out. And next, if you've watched my last vlog, you've seen this already, but this is the Sundrop dress by Iriechi. I am hoping I'm saying her name right, but she's a really popular crochet designer, so you've probably heard of her if you're on the crochet side of YouTube. And the design is made up with these like hexagons, the African flower motif, and then there's a zipper at the side here, and then on the inside you can see all of these loose ends that I am most likely never ever going to weave in. It just, the thought of it makes me feel insane. So no one else but me is going to see it, so it's fine. And if you want, you can go watch the vlog of me making the dress and injuring my arms making the dress. I got really bad repetitive strain injury and I had to take like a couple of weeks off. It was, oh my gosh, the pain is ridiculous. I couldn't even do more than like 3 stitches before my arms were screaming at me, so a break was needed. And whilst I was on my break, and I was like 80% recovered, I still had the crocheting itch. I still wanted to crochet something, so I ended up doing this really simple crochet pearl choker necklace design. And I have a tutorial for this on my channel as well if you want to go and watch that. It was really easy to make, and these pearl details really make it look much more whimsical and delicate. And I think I also have some of these listed on Etsy as well, so go take a look. And now for some of my unfinished projects. So I was going through some of my old crochet stuff and I found my first ever crochet project that I tried to make freehand without a pattern when I didn't know what I was doing. It was supposed to be a water bottle holder, and it never quite made it because it's uneven. Anyway, I've started unraveling it because I want to turn it into a top. It's going to have to be probably a short sleeve top because I don't have a lot of material here. I do have some extra yarn, but I don't think it's going to be quite long enough to do long sleeves. So here's some of the inspiration that I'm looking at. And also I used a griddle stitch for this, and I don't think I've used griddle stitch ever again since making this. I don't know why, because it looks really good with the stripes, I think, and with this particular yarn. It's, what yarn is this? Let's see. Something like 4-ply from Rowan. I have way too much Rowan yarn. I have to patronize someone else eventually. So I'm going to keep the griddle stitch in the top, and I'm also going to keep this stripe pattern. I think it's going to look really good for autumn. Oh my gosh, what was I doing here? I think I was trying to carry the yarn along. I have all of this. It's going to be a little bit annoying to unravel. Well, actually it's probably going to be fine. Anyway, at least the stitches are neat, even if I didn't get my water bottle cover. And here is something that I started at the beginning of the year. It's one side of a bag. It's like 80%, 60% of one side of a bag, and I've got to finish this bag this year. I've been procrastinating on it since January. It's made of the same medallion pattern that was on the headband. So I'll just show you So I made a bunch of these and connected them all together. And it's going to be one face of the bag, and then I have to do the other face of the bag and add the handles, add the lining. And I've just been procrastinating like crazy on this, but I'm committed to getting done with it this year. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't want to see it unfinished anymore. And then I have this linen yarn that I just have no clue what to do with. I've had it for a couple years now. I've tried and failed and started and stopped various projects with it, and I just can't find anything that works with it, or anything that I like that works with it. I think I just don't like the yarn itself. Working with it isn't very fun because it's very flaky. But if any of you like linen yarn and use it a lot, and you have any suggestions for what I could do with it, then please leave it in the comments, because I really, really want to use up this yarn for something this year, but I just have no clue what to do. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to tell me which of the projects I showed you was your favorite. And again, if you have any suggestions for the linen yarn, then please do let me know. And don't forget to leave a like if you like the video, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.